Hey everyone, I always wanted to have an automated sliding gate. However, they're very expensive, so hey, I decided to build my own using only these tools: a power drill, a level, and a screwdriver. Believe it or not, this gate is held together by glue. Like I say, I wanted simplicity. Now, people at the hardware store thought I was crazy to do this, but I used JB Weld Original Epoxy. That epoxy is extremely strong. And once you assemble it, it's done in two sections, mirror image. They are linked together here, and then you put a support beam, which is like this. It's glued on. That's what gives the strength to the gate, along, of course, with these panels, and you put an L bracket at the bottom. The only thing, obviously, that is not glued, it's already prefabricated, are the fence panels, which I got from Lowe's. But they are glued in. So now some of you might be thinking, okay, this dude is nuts, it's not going to be strong enough. Well, let's kind of build the thing backwards. You have the fence panels, obviously they're steel, extremely strong. You have the L brackets, which are glued to the fence panels, and then you've got the aluminum frame, which is glued to the angle brackets. So it's fence, angle brackets, and the aluminum frame. And it makes it an extremely strong gate. And it gives a gate appearance. And that's why I chose to go this route. So again, the key thing, simplicity, glue, and that is it. Okay, so here I was, not knowing how to build a gate. And I thought, all right, I'll go on YouTube and look for do-it-yourself gates, right? Well, anyway, the ones I found were either too heavy, too big, and required welding equipment, grinders, and tools I just didn't have. So what I did is I contacted local welders, and I was getting quotes from $500 on up, and geez, that was out of my budget. So here I am, I've got an idea, I can't weld, the welders are too expensive, so I got on the internet to look for some alternative. Well, lo and behold, I came across JB Weld Original. The reviews on it were excellent, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to use this product to put the gate together. So as a challenge to myself, I decided to do the whole gate in glue, which worked out. I built this gate a year ago. And so it's been exposed to temperatures in the 20s, clear up to temperatures in the hundreds. Anyway, so the gate is lightweight, weighs 86 pounds. The aluminum is 30 pounds. The fence material is 50 pounds, and the wheels are 6 pounds. So it's a light gate. It's made, the frame part is aluminum, known as rectangular tubing. It's 2 inches in width. And in depth, it's 1 inch, and in length, it's 90 inches. And on the ends, same material, I just put 3 inches on here. The gate is 40 inches in height, and the fencing material is advertised as 3 feet. Well, actually, it was 32 inches, but it worked out. I had 2-inch gaps here, and I did just fine. The inside section here, and here's the thing, you don't have to use fencing material. You can use anything you want. It just has to be 89.5 inches because you've got the brackets to contend with to make sure it fits. As long as your material is rigid, gosh, go ahead and use it. Now, on the top part, I have this strip of aluminum, and this is used, and a L bracket down below, which is also 6 feet. This is required because the clamps in the center, these angle brackets, are just to hold the 2 sections together. That's how it was built, 2 sections. And it's nice, I mean, it's only good to hold the sections together, but it's not strong. So what happens is the gates would do this, if you will, the gate panels. So you put the strip in, it stiffens it up, and the same for the bottom, which is an L bracket. Now, the reason I couldn't use an L bracket on the top was because of the rollers. Okay, let's see here. I think that pretty much does it, so I'm going to explain how to use the weld. And I put together some samples here. So let's start off with the weld, the epoxy itself. as you will note, you want to use about this much. It's like icing a cake or a cupcake. You must make sure that the material is sanded and clean. And same with aluminum. I've made another sample here. You have to, again, sand it. I use 60 grit. Sand the two sides as I've done here. Make sure it's clean. You want to go over it several times to make sure that there isn't any stain from it. I use a white towel. I go over it enough to, if I don't see any black staining, I know they're clean. Now here's the thing. When you put this material together, and a big mistake that people make, they get the idea to clamp these things down. No, you don't want to do that. You put your layer of weld here, and when I put this together, I just laid this on top. Literally, I did not really push hard, okay? And then I set it aside and just let it cure. And it's extremely strong, as you can see. And I'll be doing another vid in the future about techniques for the JB weld. So this gives you an idea. Don't use clamps. Gently put it together and leave it to cure. Okay, now also with the wheel, let me show you this. This is the wheel I used for the gate. It's 4 inches in length. It's approximately $20. You'll see some vendors for $50. You should be able to pick this up for $20, and I've got a link below for it. When you go to apply, well, let's look at this. Would you trust having this on a gate with just 2 screws holding it? Heck no. So I filled it. You filled it with, again, the JB weld. You put it on the gate, and it fits perfectly, incidentally, right on the aluminum, as you can see. So you set it on top. Now, you can use the screws with some washers just to hold it in place. And again, don't squeeze it down. Just bring it enough so that it holds it in place, and then let it cure. Okay? So, this is great. I will tell you this. Smaller wheels, like 2 inch, they're more available than these guys. These are somewhat difficult to find. Unfortunately, and I was shipped, accidentally, 2-inch wheels. And the brackets are smaller, and they most certainly do not fit 1-inch stock very well. This does. So now, let's talk about the next important thing. And let me open this up. And that's the track. This is very important. All right, now before you start laying track, clean the surface, your driveway, and your cement extension. For me, I used a broom, then I took a hose and swept it and brushed it to make sure that it was clean of any debris. Okay, then next, this is important. The first track you lay is your guide track. If this is off, then you're going to have a major problem. So you want to make sure that this is dead on. And I want you to know, I measured, remeasured like crazy to make sure that this was correct. And what I did is I used, by the way, guide string. I used the holes, and to make sure that the string went down center of the holes, I had my wife help me. She held one end of it down here, and I stretched it straight across. So I had an idea where this track was going to go. All right, with me being happy with where the track was laying, I went in with a perma marker and marked the holes that I was going to drill. Incidentally, now, you don't need to drill every hole, every other one, just to hold the track in place. Now, here's another thing. Now, everyone, I use what are known as hammer anchors. The thing with these, I use them, but they're scary if you're new to laying down track, because when you nail this in, it's not coming out. Your track is there permanently. So what do I suggest? Screw anchors, okay? Because the beauty of a screw anchor is if you messed up, you can unscrew the track, readjust it, and the holes that you didn't use to drill, well, they're available for you to start again. Oh, also, use a hammer drill. Do not use a regular drill. It's not going to get through the concrete. Use a hammer drill. Next, you will have what is known as dust, concrete dust in the holes. Now, a vacuum cleaner did not work for me, so I took straws, I tied them together with tape, and I literally just blew through the tape, through the straws, and tapped it in the holes to blow out the dust. Now, I'll tell you why. If you don't do that and you drop an anchor in there, you're going to discover that the dust itself will stop it. So make sure that you get all the dust out of the hole. Next, when you put down the screw anchor, now I have seen people who probably know what they're doing, they'll use a drill, right, to screw the anchor in. Well, don't do that, because I use a ratchet. You want to feel how much torque to put on that screw anchor. If you overdo it, guess what? You're going to strip the concrete. So don't do that. Use a ratchet. Okay. And here, now next thing about anchors. This is larger 3-inch anchor, and I used it to tie down my motor and my guidepost right here. Same idea. Drill the hole, screw it down. The beauty of this, if I ever have to change things here, I can just undo this and move my equipment. And same with the truck that you have used the screw anchors on. So I would say that's pretty much it, and then we'll be on to building the gate. I'll walk over here. I have put, as a demonstration, the frame of the gate. So make sure that the surfaces are sanded a bit and clean. Both surfaces, key thing, clean. You just come down here. I apply the epoxy along here, and then you just come right to this point and just hold it for a little bit, maybe a minute or so, and then you're done. Just let it cure. The reason I have paper underneath it, because one day I was doing this and it glued itself to the wood. Now, thank goodness I was able to break it loose. But putting paper there, or the paper gets stuck, not a big deal, easy to remove. And that's pretty much it. You lay the angle brackets here and at the end. And let me go and put this down here. Make sure when you go to install these at the back end, you put them so they're absolutely straight, so that your end piece will be here and you're going to adhere it. So it's glued here, and when you go to put the units together, the mirror image of this, you are going to put bolts in here, which I'll show again at the gate. And that's pretty much it. The next step, after you've got the angle brackets in, just leave it. Don't touch it. If you're putting the gate together in sunlight, the metal will get extremely hot, hotter than the ambient temperature. And that is what was going to happen to us. So I put towels over the whole frame. So the ambient temperature was approximately 85 degrees, but left out in sunlight, the metal was going to get super hot, which is not good for weld when it's curing. So put towels that minimizes any direct sunlight on the metal. The next step is then to take the fence panel and have someone assist you. Make sure what you do at this point, you put a healthy amount of the JB weld on the brackets and come along and then carefully drop the fence panel into place. And then let that set and let it cure 24 hours and you're set to go. So that takes care of one panel. You make another one just like it, mirror image, and you're set. And then the units are joined together at this point. Bolts are used to hold it. Do not glue it. This gives you the flexibility to make adjustments. And I assembled this against my fence, and with the assist of my son, we're able to move it around. Remember to put the strip along the top to add strength to the fence, and 6-foot L bracket at the base. And that gives you the strength for the gate, and you're pretty much done. You just got to add the wheels. Okay, now let's talk about the guidepost. The guidepost, you don't want it too close to the chain line, and you want it just right for your bracket. Well, guess what? I miscalculated and I had to use shims here to bring my bracket closer into the gate. Now, you will note that I have different wheels here than what you normally have with these brackets, which are nylon. Now, here's the downside about nylon, is it eventually will wipe off the paint off your gate. So to remedy that situation, I instead installed these wheels, and believe it or not, these are suitcase wheels. They are hard rubber, softer than the nylon, and I found them on Amazon. They come with insertable axle. They're 3/8 screw, and they really look at that. Bearings inside, they're perfect. Have not had a problem with them. They've actually been really great. So I have little fear now of my paint being scraped off. Next, now this is really interesting, and I know most people don't think about this, but did you know, let me show you this. These wheels spin freely, and you see that? That is because my gate is perfectly balanced, which is, I found that by mistake. It was just amazing to me. The thing is, these wheels on the bracket literally do not experience any weight. It's virtually weightless for the wheels. Let's say they may, through vibration perhaps, they may see like an ounce of weight, and that's it. Now next, you will notice the reflective tape on the gate. Now, I did this on purpose because sliding gates were brand new to our family. We're used to swing outs. So to make sure that this gate was open at night, this reflective gate told us. Not only that, I later added these flashing red lights, which serve two purposes. Of course, letting us know that the gate's opening. But secondly, when we come down the street and we hit our remote, it tells us if the gate's opening or not. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the drive mechanism for the gate. There are basically three types. There is the chain, there is the gear rack, and what's brand new to the market is belt. And the jury's out on belts, by the way. You have to got to be really tight, and for now I have no judgment on them. But let's talk about the gear rack. I originally wanted to go with gear rack. The problem is the gate, the motor, and the track have got to be absolutely perfect. I have a link for you that was put up by Topens explaining the difference between the gear rack and chain. Chain is far more tolerant to any imperfections in the track, whether the track is going up or down. If the track is slightly going off left or right, the chain can handle it. It's not a problem. And incidentally, with the 5 automatic sliding gates around my neighborhood, all of them are chain driven. Okay, now next, on the motor door, they're locked. I would forget the key, I don't know how many times. So I got rid of the lock and I just put like a little doorknob on it. Now this is used to disengage the clutch, and this makes it much easier. I don't have to worry about having a key. So that took care of that problem. Okay, well here I am. I'm very happy with my gate, except for one thing, this eyesore, the angle brackets. It just made the gate look not nice. I just hated it. I had to come up with something to cover that section, and this is what I did. I put together an address sign. A sign company cut out the numbers for me, and this sign is held on by magnets. And of course, I used JV Weld to glue the magnets in. Now another thing, this is scrap metal I found, it's steel. It comes off so I can clean it or repaint it. And of course, it's held in by magnets. So I just pick it up, I put it, center it here, and there you go. And I thought, you know, it just gave a better look to my gate. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. I hope that you found my video helpful. And if you have any more questions, please leave it in the comment section. I will get back with you on them.